Have you ever wondered what's really happening when you feel a strong gust of wind or when you ride a bike? Well, what you're feeling is a force. It's this incredible, invisible world of pushes and pulls that is constantly shaping everything we do. So today, let's pull back the curtain and uncover the science behind these amazing interactions.
We've all been there, right? You're just cruising along on your bike, feeling great, and then you hit a hill. All of a sudden, your legs are burning, and every single push on the pedal feels like a massive effort. So, what's going on there? That feeling, well, that's the key to understanding a huge concept in science. To figure this all out, we're going to tag along with two friends, Sonali and Rajini, as they go on a bike ride that pretty much turns into a real-world physics lesson. So here are Sonali and Ragini, just starting their adventure. It's a bit of a windy day, the path is kind of hilly, and they have no idea they're about to ride straight into a crash course on the forces of nature. And boom, right away they meet their first challenge. Rajini can feel the wind pushing against her, making it so much harder to pedal forward. She's basically in a battle of forces, the push of the wind versus the push from her own pedaling. That push Rajini felt from the wind is our first big clue. It leads us to a really important question. What exactly is a force? It sounds complicated, but the scientific explanation is actually beautiful in how simple it is. It all really boils down to this one simple idea, a push. Just think about the wind against Ragini's bike, or you pushing a heavy door open. That's one half of what a force is. And here's the other side of the coin, a pull. Like when you're playing tug of war or just pulling open a drawer. It's the opposite action, but it's the exact same idea. It's a force at work. So, there you have it. That's the big secret. A force is simply a push or a pull. The really key thing to remember, though, is that it always takes two. It's an interaction between at least two objects, like the wind and the bike, or your hand and the door. Okay, so forces are pushes and pulls, got it. But what's the big deal? Well, this is where it gets really interesting, because these simple actions have the power to change literally everything about an object's state. Just look at what forces can do. A simple pull can slow you right down. A really powerful push, like a baseball bat hitting a ball, can send it flying off in a totally new direction. And even a gentle push can change an object's shape completely. Forces are the ultimate agents of change. All right, now that we know what forces can do, let's try to get them organized. Scientists like to group all these different pushes and pulls into two main categories. And once you see it this way, it makes them a whole lot easier to understand. So the first type is contact forces. And these are exactly what they sound like. They have to physically touch something to work. Think about pushing a box or kicking a ball. The other type, these are the mysterious ones, non-contact forces. They're the ones that can act from a distance, like the invisible pull of gravity or a magnet snapping to the fridge. So let's start with contact forces. The one we're all most familiar with is muscular force. It's the power our own bodies and the bodies of all living things use to push and pull on the world all day, every day. Just look at the steer. It's using the incredible muscular force in its legs, pushing against the ground to launch itself forward. It's pure power. And how about this bird? It's using the muscular force in its wings to literally push down on the air, and that's what creates the lift it needs to fly. It's a perfect example of biology and physics working together. And hey, it's not just about running and flying. Even one of the very first things we learn to do, crawling, is all about using our own muscular force to push and pull our bodies across the floor. Okay, let's get back to Sonali and Rajini. So they've made it to the top of the hill, and now they're just cruising down the other side, picking up speed without even pedaling. Sonali feels this pull, but what's causing it? This brings us to that second mysterious type of force. And the answer is gravity. It's the ultimate non-contact force. The Earth itself is constantly, always pulling every single thing towards its center. That invisible power is what gave Sonali and Ragini that awesome, effortless ride down the hill. So from battling the wind to cruising down a hill with help from an invisible pull, we've seen just how much forces shape everything we do. Let's wrap this up with the key takeaways. All right, here's what you really need to remember. First and foremost, a force is just a fancy word for a push or a pull. Super simple. Second, these forces are powerful. They can change an object's speed, its direction, or even its shape.
Third, they come in two flavors: contact forces, like your muscles that have to touch, and non-contact forces, like gravity, that work their magic from a distance. And finally, just like we measure distance in meters, scientists measure the strength of a force in a unit called the Newton.
Okay, to leave you with a little something to chew on, think about a book that's just sitting perfectly still on a table. It's not moving at all. So, does that mean there are zero forces acting on it? Or is there maybe a secret, invisible battle of forces happening right there in plain sight? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.